Hi, Todd Sturtzinger, CEO at Galvion. We're here in Tampa at Soft Week 2025. Always great for us to be at these industry trade shows and show the entire integrated soldier portfolio that we have here at Galvion, but especially important here at Soft Week. Soft Week represents a user that really is the ethos of what we're all about at Galvion, particularly when we design and develop product. We want to make sure that our product stands the test of time, particularly for the most demanding military and tactical units. And that's what SOF represents, both US and Canadian SOF, as well as our international allies in SOF. So our engineers take a lot of pride in making sure that the individual warfighter is first and foremost, and whenever we make a design, and then we get critical user feedback, either through user trials or running scenarios through our Warfighter Lab in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which we'll talk about later. Very important that user feedback comes into the design so we can iterate it and get it exactly right. In the end, the warfighter wears or carries our product, so it has to be seamless for them. They cannot have to think about the Galvion product when they're carrying out the mission. It almost needs to be muscle memory to them. So we take a lot of pride in being here at Soft Week with the most demanding users and making sure our product really fits the bill. We do have some exciting news to share in conjunction with Soft Week. First, I do want to make sure that people realize that most people in the industry understand that we're a world leader of high-performance tactical helmets. We have over 2 million helmets installed around the world. Our flagship Cayman helmet is really becoming that early adopter and helmet of choice within our NATO countries. The NSPA contract that we won 2 years ago is really the foundation of why that helmet's adopted so widely in Europe. It's a 7-year contract. We're into year 2. We have over 200,000 helmets ordered and over 100,000 helmets delivered. And we're expecting several 100,000 more before that contract is over. The other exciting news is we made our first delivery on NSPA helmets to a NATO country out of our European facility in Gdansk, Poland. It's been a year and a half to get that facility up and running. We hired the people, we outfitted the facility, we went through all the legal and regulatory process, and I'm excited to say we made our first shipment last month to a NATO country, so we were up and running in Poland. Very important that we have regionalization of our deliveries from a Polish facility in the EU to our European customers. Our Hellbender platform is also starting to be adopted around the world. Critical customers in the Middle East and Northern Europe are buying our Hellbender, and our Hellbender is the basis for a couple of solicitations that we have made in the US to both DoD and law enforcement. In fact, the Hellbender is the helmet that has won a program that we just got notified on, and we cannot disclose the details yet, but this is a significant contract with a US law enforcement customer, and we're very pleased that we were selected to provide the helmet on that customer. So soon we will be able to release a press release and give you some exciting news and the details about that win. So we are always advancing our head systems. Traditionally, a helmet was used as a passive protective device. That's its first mission, is to protect the warfighter from harm. As the battlefield changes going forward, it's becoming digitally transformed. There's more information, more sensor technology that's being deployed on the battlefield, and getting that information to the warfighter so the warfighter can make real-time decisions is critically important in any mission planning. Unfortunately, today, when you get that information onto a tactical network to the warfighter, it is on a tablet or a tactical phone, otherwise known as an EUD. The only way that warfighter can take that information in is to look down. Once a warfighter looks down, they're no longer situationally aware, and they're in a vulnerable position. So our tagline with our new line that we've just released called CORTEX is get your head out of your tack, because we don't want a soldier with heads down. We want the soldier always heads up. So what this does is, the simplest explanation is we're taking information that is on the tactical network, whether it's maps, routing, blue force, red force, drone feeds, information from a smartwatch, a digital weapon sight. We're taking that information, it ends up on the tactical network, we move it from the body to the head. It's as simple as that. Now there's a lot of complexity to that. That body, that can be moved from the head through hardwire, or it can be moved through the head wirelessly. And the whole point is to do some processing on the head, which we supply in a compute, and then put that information in front of the soldier's eye. We don't care what kind of heads-up display they have, but if you can get it from the body to here, the soldier can maintain situational awareness at all times. So that's what our CORTEX family of products is all about. Our CORTEX is currently offered on multiple helmets. We put it on our flagship Cayman helmet. We actually, that was when we first developed the system, it was on that helmet for user trials. We also put it on our Hellbender helmet. But one feature about our system that I didn't discuss earlier was that we are hardware agnostic and open architecture. It's very important to understand. There are some competing systems that basically bring smarts to the head. Those systems are relatively closed. In our system, our open architecture can talk to any amount of sensors that you have in your kit. Every one of our customers carries a different weapon sight, a different EUD, a different night vision goggle that they want to display on. Our open architecture allows us to speak with that network of equipment and bring that information up. So that's hardware agnostic. Hardware agnostic goes all the way to the helmet. 2 of our customers have asked us to put this system on a competitor's helmet. We have to do that because it's all about what does the user want. So effectively, in the end, if you have a fielded helmet, a passive protective device, our system, our CORTEX family of products, can now turn that passive protective device into a digitally smart helmet system. Definitely. We're so excited about our Warfighter Lab in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. This is a purpose-built, state-of-the-art lab intended to advance the design of our products and our systems. Now, how does it do that? We use full reality, mixed reality, and virtual reality. And the whole idea is as the battlefield becomes inundated with sensors and information, the risk of physical, cognitive, and sensor overload to the warfighter is very real. This is a fully immersive Warfighter Lab run by a PhD cognitive scientist with high-speed motion cameras, analytical data, and ideally we can run people through a scenario in that Warfighter Lab, and our engineers can watch how the human interacts with the products, both our products and third-party products, and make adjustments during the design phase in order to optimize the performance of that. We took a small piece of that Warfighter Lab and brought it to the show. Hopefully we'll continue to do this in the future. We're showing a scenario where you have a weapon with a digital weapon sight and a sniper overwatch using a drone, sending the drone down range and dropping munitions on a target. Well, when you think about doing that, you would need a very wide open field, you would need a drone, you would need all the equipment, very expensive. We've mocked all that up in a virtual world. We actually have the digital weapon sight with the buttonology, but the drone is all in virtual reality. And it gives the engineers real-time information, so as they're trying to figure out what are the button presses I want, what is the menu I want when the user is looking through that digital weapon sight and guiding that drone, they can all do that real time in a lab without having to go out in a field, fly expensive drones, and iterate their design. That's just one example of the things we can do with our Warfighter Lab. Lastly, I don't want to leave out our power and data systems part of our business, very important. We're really advancing wireless charging. This is more of a magnetic field transfer, so you only have to be in proximity for the wire transfer of power to work, wireless transfer of power to work. We have 2 scenarios we're featuring. One is seat back charging. So you have a soldier that's full of equipment that's all using batteries. They're out on their mission. They're depleting all of the energy of their equipment. They need to be transported either by vehicle or helo to the next point. They sit down. They're getting wirelessly topped off with charge as they sit there. And the second one is that just drones proliferate the battlefield, tremendously used everywhere now. We have a charging mat that can help the range of the drone continue. So most drones fly for about an hour, then they have to be brought back to the controller or the user. Now you've made the user vulnerable because somebody can now see the signal where that drone's come back at the same time, or they have to go out into the field, plug a drone in and get it to charge. We have this wireless charging. The drone can fly. As it's getting ready to lose its power, it can land on the mat, recharge, and continue its mission and keep the operator out of harm's way. So those are the 2 features in the wireless charging. Very excited about Soft Week this week, and glad to be able to share some of the news with you.